if you want to be integrated more into Colombian culture or just Latin American culture, not only do you got to speak the language, but you got to learn how to dance.
100%
You
facts.
know, like these Colombian girls, what these people don't understand is they want to dance. They don't want to go to a club standing around, sitting around, just drinking. They trying to get up and dance.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Something you said earlier about the dancing, because I mentioned this in the video, man, and people wanted to roast me and diss me and that, but I said in the video that if you want to be integrated more into Colombian culture or just Latin American culture, not only do you got to speak the language, but you got to learn how to dance.
100% facts.
You know, like these Colombian girls, what these people don't understand is they want to dance. They don't want to go to a club standing around, sitting around, just drinking. They trying to get up and dance. Like, so let me ask you. So I know you said you dance bachata. Like, what's your overall experience with this type of stuff out in Colombia?
So when I went to Cali, obviously it's salsa. Everyone dances salsa. There is some bachata there, but you know, mostly people dance salsa. Here in Medellín, I would say there's a little bit of everything. There's bachata, there's salsa, there's cumbia, there's zouk, there's a little bit of everything. And not everybody here is a professional dancer, but you do have to understand that music is such a big part of Latin culture, especially in Colombian culture. Like you'll notice when you come here, and if you haven't been here before, as soon as you get in an Uber, 98% of the Ubers are playing the radio. They're not listening to Bluetooth. They're not playing Spotify or Pandora. Some people are. They'll be playing like little music videos and stuff. But majority of people are listening to the radio. Radio is a huge part of Latin culture. And when a lot of these people, Latin people, especially Colombians, when they're growing up, radio is played in the house. And, they're dancing while they're cleaning, they're dancing while they're cooking, or they're listening to music while they're cooking, or while they're getting ready to go out. Music is always being played. So music is such a huge part of, I'm going to speak more on Colombian culture, but just Colombian culture. And, so dancing is a part of that. Like I've seen, little girls from like 5 to 6 dancing, like they all dance in a group. And these people or Colombians, they're seeing this from kids to adults, so dance is a huge part of the culture here. So you don't necessarily need to know how to dance, but it's much better, or you're going to have better results with people in general if you can dance, if you have that skill up your sleeve.
Bro, I know a couple brothers that be going to Colombia, DR, like these type of places. And because they know how to dance, they pick up all the girls.
Well, you got to think like 90% of communication is nonverbal. And, so why would you not want to be able to have that part of communication? And there's so much, I can tell you from dancing bachata, there's so much flirting that's done in dance. And you already are breaking the touch barrier because you don't have to have an excuse to touch them. And I'm not saying this in like a pervy way or anything, but, you already have that. So it's doing so much work for you. Like, why would you not want to learn,
Yeah, I always recommend people, like, you don't got to, but definitely while you're over there, I mean, there's a ton of salsa classes, man. Join a class. And not only is it good for you to learn this, but because you're taking these salsa classes, you're meeting other people. You know what I mean? You're meeting other people. You know what I mean? It's a good way to meet people and network.
It's one of the best ways that when I get guys that hit me up for consultations, or if they want me to host them when they're coming out here to Medellín, it's one of the things I always recommend. I'm like, yeah, if you want to meet normal Colombian women, go to dance classes, go to dance socials. These are going to be places you can go where you don't have to worry about if they're 304. They're going to be normal, wholesome, like women, like that have jobs, that have lives, that, you don't got to wonder if they're 304 or not. Like it's one of the best ways to just meet people in general. Like I've made friends through that I still have to this day through bachata. So, and one of my best friends that I went to Brazil with this year in January, met him through bachata. So yeah, dancing's a good way not only to network, but you know, to potentially meet people or meet women as well.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I'm gonna simplify for you because I'm actually Latino. I'm Dominican. But as a Dominican, as a Latino that has been to several different Latin American countries, that knows obviously Latin American culture very well, I would recommend you guys, because you guys are probably thinking, all right, what dances do I need to learn? I'm gonna break it down for you. I call them the Holy Trinity. All right, there's 3 different ones that you need to learn how to dance, because every country for the most part dances these. Number 1 is salsa. Salsa is extremely popular in Colombia, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Ecuador, Venezuela, you name it. Salsa is very popular in those countries. So salsa is number 1. Number 2, bachata. I think you guys need to learn bachata because it is the more like sexual one out of all the 3 that I'm about to mention. It's also, I don't know, it's just very like touchy-feely. It's very romantic. I'd recommend you guys learn that one. It's very popular in the DR, but obviously Colombia, everywhere else does it as well. And number 3, it's debatable number 3, but I would say merengue. Merengue is very popular. It comes from the Dominican Republic, but everyone dances it. Merengue would be the other one. But if you guys want to know other ones you could do, vallenato, which is Colombian, you guys can do that since we're on the topic of Colombia. If you're in Colombia, vallenato or vallenato is definitely one of them you guys need to learn. Cumbia is another one that's also very big. And then there's obviously other ones, but I feel like if you guys know those 3 or 4 that I just mentioned, you're good in pretty much almost any Latin American country that there is.
So I almost agree with you there, but I'm really going to say, I'm going to dumb it down and literally just say salsa and bachata. Just from being in this community, salsa and bachata is done globally. I've seen videos of people dancing salsa and bachata in Russia, in Germany, in Amsterdam, in certain parts of Asia. Like they're huge. And like I said, it's globally. So if I had to really just simmer it down to 2, you learn salsa or bachata, and they're almost interchangeable. There's a lot of moves that are done in both that you can do bachata moves in salsa, and you can do salsa moves in bachata. So if you study one and learn and get decent at one, it'll easily translate over to the other. So it almost kind of, you get a 2 for 1 almost.
Well, merengue, that's why I said merengue is debatable. But I still feel merengue is extremely important to Latin American culture.
In Latin America, yes. Yeah.
Extremely important. Maybe not really outside of it. Bachata has more of an influence. Salsa has more of an influence outside of Latin American culture. But especially if you're in the Dominican Republic, merengue is huge. And believe it or not, Passport Graffiti, sometimes you're listening to a song that you might think is bachata, but it's actually merengue. Because there's bachata, like sometimes you will hear a song and it sounds like bachata, but it's going quicker. It's quicker than a usual bachata song. It's more slowed down. That sometimes is merengue. So that's the thing. Sometimes you might be able to like mix up the 2. Not saying you, but generally speaking. But merengue, the beautiful thing about merengue, and the reason why I recommend everyone to do it anyways, is because it's so simple.
Yeah,
it's bachata is 3 steps. I mean, obviously it could be a little bit more complex, depending. But obviously there's steps that go to bachata. There's steps that go to salsa. But merengue is not really steps. It's just more of moving your hips and going around, and then doing some twist her around, you turn around. Like it's the simpler one out of the 3. So why not learn it? But either way, guys, I do agree with Passport Graffiti. The top 2 is salsa, bachata. You got those 2 down. You speak a little bit of Spanish. You're pretty much getting most of the girls you're gonna meet, especially your good looking dude.